Here we have a nice Prodigy mud boat. It's an aluminum boat, got a trolling motor on it. It's a nice rig, got a mud motor on the back. It's like a Briggs & Stratton mud motor called a Sport HDR 37 EFI. Woo! Man, that's a motor, ain't it, Belvin?
Oh yeah.
That is the stuff. It's actually a pretty nice rig, and it's a pretty simple setup. You know, it's got this nice gearbox, and this thing can run through literally mud and not hurt it. But the manufacturer puts this, they've got, you know, the fuel tank up front to balance the boat way up there, and they got this little electric fuel pump, which I guess okay to help transfer the fuel to the back. And Belvin is over here changing the fuel line from the forward tank all the way back to the motor, because the manufacturer builds this really nice setup, but for some reason these boat manufacturers just can't seem to put decent fuel line on. They cut corners and they put this cheap crap gray fuel line, and every boat shop in the country and abroad knows that this stuff right here has got a little bitty liner inside of there, and that liner with today's ethanol collapses and wreaks havoc on boat owners. And it can clog fuel systems. It can, in some cases, burn up motors, especially two-stroke motors running them lean. So this one has got about, what do you think, Belvin, 13 foot of fuel line? 13 foot of that garbage on there from this really pretty exceptional manufacturer. I mean, not top of the line, but really a nice rig, you know? And it just doesn't make sense to me why these boat manufacturers still cut this corner for a few bucks. We need to go with, what are we putting in there, Belvin? We're putting some U.S. Coast Guard approved Type A fuel line. This stuff is top of the line. Yeah, it's expensive, okay? It costs a little bit more money. Type A1-15. I mean, it is inboard, outboard, gas, or diesel. I mean, this stuff can be laid in a bilge, you know? And it can be underwater, it can be in corrosives and still hold up really, really well. And, you know, at $3, $4 a foot, I guess they opt for this 50 cents a foot stuff to save just a few bucks. Kind of a shame. What do you think about that, Belvin? What a bunch of crap, huh?
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. And then it's passed off onto the consumer at a later date when his engine is suffering to figure out what the heck's going on. Shame, shame, shame. Anyway, I thought I'd share. If you've got some gray fuel line on your motor, on your jet ski, your inboard, your outboard, you should never see that stuff on an inboard, but you see it on a lot of outboards. If you have that stuff on your boat, get rid of it, and get rid of it fast. Put some high dollar fuel line on and be done with it. That's my tip.